Unika is the newest character in Guilty Gear Strive, and for once, I can say that I genuinely love playing a Season 4 DLC character. Now, that's not to say that I dislike Venom or Dizzy, but as someone who got introduced to Guilty Gear through Xrd, it's just hard for me to not wish they were, like the older counterparts. Dizzy, my beloved. I enjoy both Dizzy and Venom in Strive to an extent, but neither of them has really hit me in the way that Unika has. Before we get into the tools that she has access to, I feel it's important to explain how weird she feels to play. Unika is a pseudo-stance character that feels kind of like Kai and Soul had a child. She may be Kai and Dizzy's kid, but any resemblance to her mother is reserved for her super. Her 2K and 5S are ripped straight out of Soul's kit, and her 236K and 214K are just Stun Dipper and Fujar. However, when it comes to movement, she feels much more like Soul. In short, her movement is chunky as all hell, which, depending on your playstyle, can be a good or a bad thing. I'll admit, for me, it was a little bit weird to get used to her movement, as, I'm someone who is a die-hard Bridget player and is used to going way too fast across the screen. But after a few hours of playing her, I have solidly found out that I really love the way she plays. Now, all of this movement talk has got me realizing we should probably talk about her moves. However, before we cover any moves, we need to talk about her stance. Arbalest mode is a special state that she can switch into through slash or heavy slash follow-ups or by pressing 6H. While Arbalest is activated, all of Unika's specials, except 214S, gain enhanced properties. In addition, you can also dash cancel every move that gets her into Arbalest, which is so nice and so useful. You don't see it in my gameplay, as the gameplay I have recorded is old. I guess you can call it older, day 2 or day 1, because apparently all the good gameplay I had got deleted. Thank you, computer. I love you so much. Side tangent aside, you can also skip motion inputs and just get to the enhanced Arbalest moves by pressing 6H, then one of the following: 3K, 6K, 6H, 6S, 4S, or J6H. But now it's time that we actually get into her special inputs. To start, we have AMTG Streak, which is a very, very strong full-screen projectile that beats literally everything. While it does have the drawback of having the startup of me getting out of the bed in the morning, that being very slow, it makes up for it by beating literally every other projectile in the game. Now, I don't have footage to show this because, again, my OBS shit the bed, but you just have to take my word for it. In all seriousness, I have not seen a clip or experienced a projectile beating her projectile at all, and it's kind of shocking. Her next move is AATG Blitz. I'm sorry, these naming conventions for a dyslexic is miserable. This is an air-only move that shoots a projectile out in an angle that is quite useful for retreating. It's also a little bit risky to use consistently, as it is just, slow. But if you do it sparingly, it's fantastic. Next we have AATG Penetration. Don't laugh, Connor, you're an adult. This is a sliding low that isn't quite as scummy as Stun Dipper, and it can be used to go under mids, standard Stun Dipper stuff. Cool thing is that the soft knockdown on hit normally. In the Arbalest mode, the version becomes much stronger and is a hard knockdown on hit. This is one of the go-to combo extenders and combo things you'll see when watching Unika gameplay. Not my gameplay, because I suck. ATTG Top Attack is a normal speed overhead that cannot convert no matter what in normal mode, and is also incredibly unsafe on block. However, if you juice it up by pulling out the finest vintage of Arbalast mode Capri Suns, you can convert off of a counter hit, with beater, or in the middle of a combo. This makes it incredibly useful for just scoring a bit extra damage, or, being a little bit safer and going for an overhead on a crouching and blocking opponent. ACTG Blastoff, these names are gonna kill me, is an invincible meterless reversal. It doesn't do the most damage, but it is fast. The biggest thing to remember with this move is that if you're trying to use it as an anti-air, you're making a mistake. While it can do that, it's not really great at it. Normally, with an anti-air, you want something that puts you close to your opponent, that way you can set up your Oki. The problem with using Blast Off as an anti-air is that unless you're close enough to get a wall bounce with Arbalast mode, you're kind of just doing a bit of damage and sending everything back to neutral. Which is great if you're using it as a get off me tool, but it's not so good if you're trying to use it on the offense. The final special we have is Blazer Trail, a normal name for a move! And to be fair, it is kind of the black sheep when it comes to her moves. Not because it's bad, but because it has no alternate version when using Arbalast. Blazer Trail is a huge horizontal slash that is fantastic as a combo ender, as it causes a hard knockdown, so you can get in close. It also works as a great poke, as it outranges a lot of options and does insane damage if you hit it. It is also your best meterless wall break move, as it deals 68 damage. Woohoo! If only it did 69. I am such a child. Now that we've covered her specials, it's time to talk about her supers. Her first super is Megadeth Buster! I'm saying it like that because, I see Buster and I instantly think, Buster Wolf! Don't worry about it. This is a reversal super and is your main super for wall break. It is just, it's so good for that. Also, it is literally just your DP souped up to be a super. It's fantastic, pretty nice. Her second super is called Weapons Free, and it's a very unique super that can only be activated when at low health. When hit on the ground, Unika and her opponent are sent up into the air, and Unika gains access to unique damaging moves similar to like if you threw a raw DP. At the current moment, some people don't think this one is super good, but seeing as how it needs combos to be created for it, since it's essentially a raw 5D but in a super form, it's going to take some time to see whether or not this super actually has any legs. Honestly, I don't care, because it looks so cool. I mean, come on, just look at it. Look at it. It's sick. Sorry, I'm getting way too excited. All in all, I really love Unika. I think she is a fantastic addition to Strive. And while I won't pull a Leffen and claim that she's busted, I will say that she is a solid high tier character. Like, high A is where I'd put her in a tier list right now. I know that for me personally, she is becoming a co-main with Bridget right now for me. I mean, come on. I have to main them both. It's in the lore. But that's all from me for now. If you stuck through this whole video, then I sincerely thank you. My editing, especially my script writing, and my audio is probably going to be a little rough at the start, but, you got to start somewhere. But for now, all I'll say is, see you next time. Thanks for watching.